Hey there, everyone. I know it has been a stressful couple of weeks. It's probably going to be a stressful couple of months ahead of us. And I'm trying to create some levity, some fun. I want your interaction with this particular video. So I've captured 8 or 9 things that I think are a little bit funny, a little bit crazy, things that I've heard over the last 48 hours. I've either heard or read. I've been talking to title agents. I've been talking to some of my students, and the rest came out of the news. So these are things that I've heard. When you get to the end, I suspect all of you have heard 1 or 2 things that just blow your mind. So if you've heard them, leave comments below. I'm hoping that this particular video is one of my most interactive, where more and more folks are adding comments, because man, there are some doozies out there. Let's get started. So let me share this, make this a little bit bigger. All right. So funny or crazy, depending on what side of the fence you're on, that things that I've heard in the last 48 hours. How about this one? I was talking to 2 different students today. Both of them are looking to do refinances, right? That's what the news keeps telling us, right? Go refi your house. Both of them were looking to do a 30-year refi. I think one was just going to do rate and term, and the other was going to do a little bit of cash out. But both of them let me know today that the banks called them back, and given the amount of refinance applications they have, the banks have raised rates. Go figure. Aren't rates supposed to go down? One of the students said banks raised rates 3 times in the last 3 days. The other student just called me and said they were quoted a rate yesterday and they were requoted today higher. So yes, banks have a huge demand of refinances, which means escrow companies are going to be flooded, which appraisers are going to be flooded. So part of the system is working. But I think it's comical. They're getting so much business, they have raised rates. Man, that's funny to me. How about this one? This one might be concerning, but I think it's just as outlandish. Is the US only has 500 cases. Actually, only has less than 500 cases. I don't think any of us believe that we only have 500 cases. We have simply had a horrible management of test cases, and you can't test anybody if you don't have a test case. So I don't know what the real number is, but to tell me you think the real number is 500 and you're betting on that, come on. We're smarter than that. Now, it might not be 5,000, but it's certainly not 500. So let's stop banking on that number, because that just makes you look foolish. How about this one? Santa Clara County instituted an order that says it is eliminated or prohibited gatherings of 1,000 people or more. So the San Jose Sharks will play 3 home games in front of an empty stand. I don't watch hockey, but I might tune into one of those games just to see how quiet it is. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be, can you imagine a player that's used to playing in front of 20,000 people suddenly playing in front of 10 family and friends? Man, that's going to be bizarre. And the NBA may go this route as well. Woo, scary. Italy. This one floored me. Italy suspends mortgage payments. Suspends mortgage payments. Say it again. Italy suspends mortgage payments. I had to read that article 3 times. Italy suspends mortgage payments. Wow. Just wow. Oh, this one got me. I listened to the good old boy Dave Ramsey today on my run. Ran 8 miles today. Yes. He was ranting about the stock market crash, and he brought up, how can Southwest Airlines be worth less than 30% than they were before, and blah, 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 talking about stocks like he was the eminent stock picker. Dude, their revenue's impacted all year. Nobody's flying. Of course the price is going to go down. Could it come back? Sure. But dude, don't tell me that it's worth the price it was. The business is fundamentally changed. Come on. I mean, his point is somewhat valid in that in a couple of years it'll be right back. Sure. But they're impacted now, right? They're based on earnings now, and the next year is going to be rough. He was pissed off. He was saying all kinds of nasty things. That was a weird YouTube video, not like any of his other videos. I don't know if he had a drink before that one, but man, he was fired up. United, back to Dave Ramsey's point, that United has cut 70% of their capacity on international flights. 70%. That's astonishing. Just read before I started this video that people are now saying that airplane travel has fallen off more than after 9/11. And I traveled the day that they let flights go, so I know exactly how bad it was after that. I traveled probably 20 of those first 40 days. I know exactly how bad it was. And to hear that it's worse is frightening. Good old Santa Clara County. I live here. It's interesting sometimes. They were talking about, it's not passed yet, but they are looking to propose legislation that prevents evictions if the tenant has been impacted in any way by what's going on around this virus. So it's not only for people that are sick, but if your job has been impacted or whatever, the word impacted drives me nuts, because how can you prove impact? So you're going to have potentially, if this passes, landlords, unless the US does what Italy does, which, God, I hope it doesn't get that bad. But you can't evict non-paying tenants now? I mean, anyways, that's not okay. Here's a big one. Back to our friends in Italy. They have shut down the country. They have quarantined the country. Everybody is on quarantine. Can you imagine what's going to happen to their economy? And they're the 8th largest economy in the world. It is on lockdown. And of course, we shouldn't be concerned. Can you imagine? I just don't understand the logic. On one hand, somebody is telling us not to worry about it. It's no big deal. But then the 8th largest country decides to go on lockdown. Amazing. I saw this one. People are now so desperate for hand sanitizer and face masks, they are going to hospitals and doctors' offices and stealing them. That is some desperation right there. Not okay. Google, big tech company, 100,000 North American employees, tells everybody, stay home, work from home. Other tech companies I've heard have done the same thing. Everybody stay home. Amazing. Here's one. I forget who did this. I think it was Morningstar. Sell-off is a gross overreaction to a severe but manageable flu. Okay, if you think this is a severe but manageable flu, why the heck is Italy on lockdown? Do you think Italy goes on lockdown for a severe and manageable flu? How can both of these things be true? I'm not saying both are true, but how can they both be true? I don't get it. Here's one from our good old friends at the CDC. If you're over 60, stay home, stock up. Again, it's a severe but manageable flu, but if you're over 60, stay home and stock up. Huh? I don't get it. How about this one? The National Guard has been deployed in New York to help quarantine. There's this city or area called New Rochelle. It's exploding with infections. The National Guard has been deployed to New York. But okay, wait, don't worry about it. Everything's good. It's only severe, manageable flu. Oh, how you really are deploying the National Guard for severe and, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So those are things I've heard in the last 48 hours. Let me know. What have you heard? Could be a headline, could be a discussion with a lender, a client, maybe escrows are canceling. I don't know. I'd love to hear about banks. My contacts are telling me rates went up the last couple of days, which is kind of odd. So let me know. And again, would love this video to have the most comments. So please, if you've heard some interesting comments, you've read comments, seen it on TV, heard it on the radio, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, everybody, have a great day, and we will get through this. Just remember,